AITAH for letting my kids loot my brother's house to prove my point. There are many ways to teach a lesson. Some parents use heartfelt conversations. Others ground their kids or take away phones. But sometimes, just sometimes, the best way to get a point across is full-scale, strategic chaos. Let me back up. My kids and I are big into Lego. We've been building together for years. Not just normal builds, I'm talking epic little dioramas that we scatter around the house like pop culture Easter eggs. Iron Man fighting Darth Vader on top of a Fortnite loot llama? That's a Tuesday. Batman dangling upside down from a bottle of hot sauce? Standard. It's become a fun little game between me and the kids, hiding, spotting, laughing. Nothing extravagant, just quirky family fun. So when my brother came to visit last month with his wife and their 8-year-old son, my nephew, let's call him Noah, I knew he'd see the Legos. And he loved them. Eyes wide, questions flying, laughter bubbling up. I get it, I was that kid once. But what I didn't expect was that after they left, some of our favorite minifigs were missing. Gone. Poof. No Iron Man. No Batman. The loot llama was still there, but now empty like a battlefield after the storm. Darth Vader? Gone to the dark side, apparently. I called my brother. Hey, by chance did Noah maybe, take a few Lego guys home? He laughed. Yeah, kids being kids. He really liked them. I'll have him bring them back next time we get together. Okay. Not exactly the response I was hoping for. But fine. I reminded him before our next meet-up over coffee, hey, don't forget the Legos. Guess what? He forgot. At that point, it was clear, this wasn't forgetfulness. This was passive-aggressive parenting disguised as shrug, they're just toys. That's when I decided, game on. A week later, he invited us to his place for a barbecue. And that's when inspiration struck. I crouched down in the driveway next to my 2 kids and said, listen up, Raiders. The uncle has violated sacred toy protocol. You have full clearance, anything not nailed down is fair game. Spare no mercy. My daughter's eyes lit up. My son cracked his knuckles like a cartoon henchman. And so began the great raid. It was glorious. Like tiny, cheerful Vikings, they rampaged through that house with ruthless efficiency. When we left 2 hours later, I swear to you, there wasn't a remote in sight. The beer mugs. Gone. Phone chargers. Vanished. Even a Bluetooth speaker had mysteriously disappeared. I personally had to sneak the dog back inside the house before leaving, or I'm 90% sure they would have made off with him too. We got into the car, loaded down like treasure-laden pirates. My phone started ringing before I'd even hit the end of the block. I let it go to voicemail. Twice. Eventually, I called him back. His voice was tied with fury. What the hell happened? Half my stuff is missing. I put on my best concerned parent voice. Oh wow. I'll ask the kids when we get home. You know how kids are. He exploded. You know what they did. I want my stuff back. I sighed. Sure, next time we see each other. I'll box it all up. Right after we get our Lego back. Silence. 3 hours later, he was on my doorstep, huffing and puffing and handing me a plastic bag filled with Lego, including several I didn't even recognize. Probably taken from some poor kid at a school birthday party or something. I returned the extras and handed him a box full of his beloved possessions. Remotes, beer mugs, speaker, and yes, his favorite novelty mug that says "World's Okayest Griller." Just so we're clear, I said, this is how we're handling things from now on. He stormed off without a word. Later that night, I got an angry text from him. And then a follow-up from our parents, who weighed in like the UN on sibling warfare. There's a difference, they said, between an 8-year-old taking a toy and teenagers looting a house. Oh, sure. Let's ignore the part where the 8-year-old was never corrected, and instead focus on how my kids were finally taught what justice looks like. Maybe my teens were a little dramatic. Maybe looting is a strong word. But when you keep letting your kid take things that aren't his, and you brush it off like it's nothing, you send the message that boundaries don't matter. So yeah. I made a point. Loud and clear. Am I the asshole? Possibly. But now, every Lego figure is back home where it belongs, including Iron Man, who's currently riding the loot llama again, wielding a tiny plastic beer mug and standing victorious over Darth Vader. Poetic, don't you think?